One of our open mics.
Yeah, we're.
And go ahead on and let's give it up for DJ Crouch. Let's give it up for your bartenders and your wait staff. Let's make sure we tip them real well. Because if y'all tip them real well, I don't have to tip them. I don't have to tip them. But let's go ahead on and give a round of applause for this young man. He's only 2 months in the game, but he came with his funny. He is ready to tell y'all his mind. He is ready to get it to y'all. Let's give it up for Caleb.
Like he said, I have 2 months in. I was told I have 15 minutes. I was not prepared for that. So unfortunately, I might have to do my Steve from Blue's Clues impression with my handy dandy notebook. All right, let's get it. Who's drinking tonight? All right. Anyone trying to get more drunk than Cooter Brown? I guess not. For those that are not in the know, Cooter Brown was an unconscious objector of the Civil War. Both sides of his family fought for both sides of the war. And he came up with a devious plan. He was going to get pissed drunk every day where he could not be enlisted. And it worked, because we're still talking about him today. I find that story very inspirational, because I often get too high to do literally anything. I just hope in 100 years people say I'm going to get higher than Caleb Jenkins. Do you guys ever know a loser that sticks in your mind years later? Oh, I guess only me. I had a Super Bowl party. The guy invited didn't come, but his brother-in-law did. And the topic of Uber came up. And he mentioned that his son, when doing his taxes, it turns out he actually lost money doing Uber. Which meant this motherfucker paid money to drive drunk people around for an entire year. At best, he was a very honest volunteer. What an Uber cuck. I've had a litany of jobs. For some reason, I always choose the careers that they start off with in pornos. I was a plumber helper at one point, which basically meant I was a glorified golden retriever. Except the dog probably would be better than I was. You guys ever flood a house? Not fun. Still going with that lawsuit. In high school, I did pizza deliveries. See? Porno. And I delivered to some pretty sketchy neighborhoods. One night we got an order for about $150, which meant functionally they ordered everything on the menu. And I thought it was a pretty sweet deal. I might get a $20 tip. Buy a lot of weed in high school. And eventually I drive to the house and I realize, oh shit, I'm not getting tipped. And I was right. The reason why I'm telling you this story tonight is because the next day, my manager asked me if I delivered to this house. And I said, of course, yes. And he informed me that they used a stolen credit card. Which meant this motherfucker didn't tip on someone else's dollar. This was not an economic decision. He was morally against the concept of tipping, yes. Alright, like I promised. Fun fact about me, I'm diagnosed with ASD. That does not stand for awesome sex disorder. That's capital A, autism. If autism is spectrum, I hope I'm ultraviolet, naked to the human eye. Growing up, I was always told that addiction runs in my genes. But more realistically, it just lays around the house in sweatpants. Becoming an adult is realizing that your house was the trap house. But since I was a kid, it was more like the Mickey Mouse trap house. Come inside, you'll die inside. I have to imagine a Mickey Mouse trap house would involve a complicated Rube Goldberg machine, featuring a series of dominoes leading to a ping pong ball flying through the air, sending a Matchbox car down a flight of stairs, all just to heat up a spoon. Oh, do you guys like those? I can continue. I have a very tragic story. I recently had a friend pass away. He fired a gun up in the air. He died shooting up. I think junkies would be really good at finding a needle in the haystack. I've noticed something recently. There's only two types of men with backpacks: nerds and tweakers. What kind of treasures do you have stored in there? Notice something about tweakers. Meth either makes you gay or racist. It's not one, it's the other. Alright, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Why is it that the hardest drug users come from an upper middle class two-parent family? Jesse Pinkman had no trauma. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I find it weird. People always say they need an excuse to smoke weed. You know, they claim it's for their back, that it makes them go to sleep, or it helps their anxiety. But that's the exact opposite reason why I smoke weed. I like feeling like I'm in a fun house. I get hours of entertainment just staring at a mirror. I'm told all my problems are inside my head. I'm quite depressed. But that's the worst place for your problems to be. If all my problems are inside my wallet, I can go and get a job. I've been described as an incel. Thank you. Which means I'm going to be the first comic to get canceled for not having sex with someone. Here's why I'm an incel. I think feminists must hate the Postal Service. They're always shitting on the mailman. Alright, here's some real jokes. I've noticed that ordering hash browns at Waffle House can be kind of kinky. Can I get mine covered, smothered, and tied up? It's always unfair when there's a cop at Waffle House late at night, you know. Give me a 10-minute head start at least. Started dating a girl who's into rough sex, you know, horseplay. The funny thing though is she hates cats, and I love cats. I am a man. So I've had to start sneaking out at night to feed the local stray cats. I'm a good person. But she thinks I'm cheating on her. It gets really hard to explain why I come back with my fingers reeking of tuna. Whenever I see someone fishing on a dock, I always feel compelled to fish with them. Peer pressure is real. I'm trying this one out. Do you think Joseph ever told teenage Jesus to go and get a Job? Do you guys like the Beatles? Alright, I guess this is gonna be my last little set. The Beatles got a lot of flack for their song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds because it spells out LSD. They claim it was just a coincidence, which I will accept. But how are you going to explain Day Tripper? John Lennon forgot to tie his shoes? I heard Yoko Ono recently got into the extermination business. I mean, she does have a history of killing beetles. She actually recently hired Mark David Chapman. little trivia for you. You guys thought you weren't going to learn tonight. I think it's time we discuss John Lennon's blatant anti-Semitism. What the fuck are juju eyeballs? Whenever I hear that song, I always imagine a Beatles circle jerk. You know, come together. Alright, last Beatles joke. I like the Beatles because they answer the question, what would happen if you gave a boy band acid? It'd be like NSYNC going from bye 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 to get high high high. Alright, I was Caleb Jenkins. That was my time. I appreciate yours.
We're going for Caleb Jenkins. I know it was hard for him to do that Family Feud joke because it was the Jenkins. You know who he was going for. All right, but we're going to bring up our next comedian. His